Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the top, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still the answer the call. And we say, be tight, be tight, be tight. The Officer Tatum Show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. The Officer Tatum Show. Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the top, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still the answer the call. And we say, be tight, be tight, be tight. The Officer Tatum Show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. The Officer Tatum Show.
If you don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning big, you might as well go on today.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show, brought to you by Shinergy, the natural supplement company. Natural energy drink is powered by, I'm drinking my Shinergy right now. I'm almost to the bottom. So make sure you get some Shinergy today. It's all natural. You ain't got to worry about crash. We developed it with a formulator. This is not private label stuff, white label. This is borrowing a product of somebody else's creativity. This is our own formulator, Steve, who formulated this from the ground up. So we created energy so you don't have to crash. And then we also created complete energy, with you having a night drink as well. So we want you to get good quality sleep, be able to wake up with energy, have energy throughout the day. Nobody's doing this but Shinergy. All right. So go to shinergylife.com, shinergylife.com, and get you some supplements today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Donald Trump. This affects Shinergy too, because we got a lot of deals that we do across the country, across the world, and we got to have good trade deals. That's just the way it is. All right. And Donald Trump has done something that no other president had the cojones to do in the history of our country. Donald Trump, and one on Mother's Day. Matter of fact, happy Mother's Day to all you mamas out there that's really taking care of your kids. Not to the mamas out here trying to keep their kids away from their daddies, but the mamas who out here being real mamas. Shout out to you. Happy Mother's Day. But over the weekend, Donald Trump is out here doing more than any president has done in their entire tenure, even with 2 terms. The trade deal that he just negotiated, in part with China, some of the executive orders that he signed for pharmaceutical drugs, dropping the prices by 80% and more, we'll get into it in a minute, is Donald Trump should literally get a 3rd term. I'm going to play the news clip so you can hear the news reporting on it, and then we're going to talk about it. I got all my notes here. Let's get into this. Roll the clip.
Fox News alert overnight. The Trump administration securing another win, announcing a major tariff deal with China. Trade will be one of the major issues on the agenda when the president makes his high-stakes trip, and the first one to the Middle East. He's going overseas today. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt joins us now. Caroline, we're just mentioning there's probably 7 major stories. I know I'm going to disappoint somebody by not bringing it up. First off, your reaction, and what could you tell us about the China deal that has tariffs dropping from 145, 125 respectively to 30 and 10?
This is an extraordinary first step in the right direction. And thanks to the strength of President Trump, Secretary Bessent and Ambassador Greer were able to cut this initial deal with China. China agreed to reduce their tariffs on the United States by 115%. They also agreed to continue having discussions about opening Chinese markets to American-made products and goods. And they also agreed to continue seriously discussing the grave impact that Chinese-produced fentanyl is having right here in the United States and our people. So this is a great first step for the American public, and Secretary Bessent, Ambassador Greer, and of course President Trump will continue negotiations with China so we can hopefully inevitably get to a fair and comprehensive big trade deal.
Hold on. I don't think people are paying attention to this enough. Caroline Levitt said it better than anybody can say it on planet Earth. But remember all these people? They were talking so much trash about Donald Trump. And I told you guys, y'all got record of me saying this. On my show, I told you, be patient. Donald Trump knows what he's talking about. Like, I really do think he's going to resolve this. He's a businessman. He understands how to, we have control. We have leverage. I'm not saying we have all the control, but we do have leverage. I don't know how the American people don't understand this. Like, they need us too. If we increase tariffs on them, that's less productivity or less products being bought in America. They're going to suffer. They have billions of people to take care of. We have 300 million. They can't. We're like majority of their economy outsourced. They need us. They need us purchasing. And I knew when Donald Trump did it in good faith, because I'm not God. I know the future. But in good faith, I said, you know what? I think you know what he's doing. I think we have a lot of leverage here. He's doing this to get to the drawing board, to get to the negotiating table. He's not doing this to hurt the American people and try to do a peeing contest with the Chinese president. He's doing this to gain leverage so that we can have a better outcome when it comes to trade deals with foreign governments. Finish the clip.
Do you know yet, Caroline, if they're going to unfreeze their rare earth and the magnets that we use for our technical equipment as well as our military equipment?
I do understand that was part of the discussion, but I also know that the administration is working overtime 24/7 with a dedicated team to onshore that very critical supply chain here at home. We need to be producing those magnets, those rare earth minerals, and also look at pharmaceuticals, look at semiconductors. There are critical supply chains that we have been dependent on other countries for far too long. So while we continue to negotiate these good and fair trade deals, we will also continue to boost our domestic manufacturing here at home to strengthen our national security.
All right, so we got the UK deal, the framework for a China deal. Is there another deal queued up, ready to go today before you leave?
Well, look, we told you the next 100 days would consist of peace deals and trade deals, and that's exactly what we have seen. The president announced last week the big trade deal with the UK, as you mentioned. Now we have a first deal with China. Just yesterday, the president announced the release of the last remaining American hostage in Gaza, Eden Alexander, who will soon be united with his loving family. God bless him. That's thanks to President Trump. We also negotiated a ceasefire with the Houthis, and President Trump was instrumental in negotiating a ceasefire with India and Pakistan. This is all in the last week. President Trump and his team are working incredibly hard on behalf of the country and the world to secure peace deals and trade deals. And don't forget, we have a tax deal coming too. The administration is working with Capitol Hill to sign the largest tax cuts in American history right now.
So
come on, stop it. Y'all got to get Trump 2028. I don't think he can run a third time, but his legacy. Every election should be Trump 20 whatever, Trump 2030 something, because his legacy will continue forever. I think people aren't digesting. I know you guys are because you're smart, but I don't think the American people are digesting what is happening here. She's just not talking out the side of her neck. A deal with the UK, first phase deal with China, releasing of the hostage in Gaza. Like, these are things that other presidents could not and would not do. Brokering a ceasefire deal with the Houthis. She said Houthis. It's Houthis. Peace deal, mediation between India and Pakistan. And then also, they may talk about this in a minute, maybe. This thing that he did that my wife brought to my attention last night. She came and she said, oh, you see what Donald Trump do? He whooping on Mother's Day. Trump signed a landmark executive order to cut pharmaceutical prices by up to 80%. Listen, this is the key part. Ensuring that the U.S. pay no more than the lowest global rate. Do you know how significant that is? Cutting pharmaceutical prices by 80%. That's almost 100%. 80%. That means that in the future, a deal has been struck where we get the lowest price. So that means in India, when they selling, hypothetically, let's just say it's insulin. In India, if they're selling insulin for $2 a vial, that means that the American people get the lowest price. That means we're getting it for $2. They don't get it for $2 and we pay $150 for it, like we've been doing. It's about negotiating on behalf of America. This is what Trump is all about, and this is why we love Trump. And I wish that you did go tell your auntie them and your cousin them and your boyfriend, baby daddy, cousin, grandma, friend from down the street back when they were kids. Go tell them with their Trump hating self to go and look at what Trump has accomplished. Just give them these accomplishments and then say, what do you think about that? Is that a bad thing or not? Caroline, take it away.
Just going off the Truth Social post, it says, it's a long one, but he says, I'm pleased to announce that today, the White House at 9 o'clock will be signing one of the most consequential executive orders ever. They will be reducing pharmaceuticals by about 80%. Essentially, we are going to pay less than the country that's paying the least for pharmaceuticals from here on in. How does that work?
First of all, it cannot be overstated how big of a deal this executive order that President Trump will be signing in a couple of hours is for American families, and especially our seniors who have been ripped off by very large and rich pharmaceutical companies. The United States of America is less than 5% of the world's population, yet we purchase 75% of Big Pharma's profits. We pay an astronomical amount in comparison to other countries around the world. So the president is signing an executive order today that is going to implement most favored nations drug pricing and is going to reduce the cost of drugs in this country by more than half at least. America is going to pay a better rate and a fairer rate to the rest of the world. That's what the American people deserve. This is huge news. And also, I will add, we know that healthcare costs and drug prices were the #1 driver of Biden inflation. So not only are we bringing those down, but we are ending Biden inflation once and for all.
Can you clarify that Qatar is giving us a new Air Force One as a personal gift to President Trump? Are they gifting it to the country? What could you tell us about this luxury liner that looks like a hotel on the air?
Well, the Qatari government has graciously offered to donate a plane to the Department of Defense. The legal details of that are still being worked out, but of course, any donation to this government is always done in full compliance with the law, and we commit ourselves to the utmost transparency.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Caroline. Best press secretary to ever live. Nothing against Kayleigh McEnany. I love Kayleigh McEnany. I love her. And her sister. Her sister's my favorite. But, like, what can we stop winning? I don't want to stop winning. Do you want to stop winning? I don't think we can stop winning. This is like a championship team. Donald Trump does things that bother me sometimes. He be doing things that I'm like, but it seems like at the end of the day, it always works out. At the end of the day, even if he say something crazy, you're like, Trump really wrote that on True Social. Come to find out it was true. It sounded crazy when he said it, but it was right. This is one thing that just, it gives me a lot of excitement because I honestly feel like Donald Trump is the greatest president of my lifetime. I think he always has been, even with his flaws, even the fact that, he got, I don't agree with everybody he picks, Pam Bundy included. I don't want to get in trouble with Trump, man, to be honest. But Pam Bundy is sketchy. They got a video of her doing something that I think she should lose her job over. And I'm going to play that video here in a minute. I almost forgot to talk about it. It's the one with Project Veritas. I think I put it in the chat where Project Veritas had Pam Bundy on camera behind the scenes telling a nanny information that should only be privy to the American people. She has to lose her job over this. It's on camera, okay? But let me not get in trouble with Trump. Trump, I love you still. I got to call it how I see it. Just like you do. You call it how you see it. I'll call it how I see it. But anyway, I may not agree with everybody he picks. Sometimes I think some of these people are off, or some of these people are deceiving him to a certain degree. But Donald Trump is the GOAT. Let's just keep that transparent. I think he knows what he's doing. He's run a successful business, and if you run this country like a business, it's not $1 billion business, it's $1 trillion business. You can really make some differences for the American people. Now, the next thing that we need to do is figure out, and I'm the biggest proponent, and I love Israel, and I love the Israeli people. I love the Jews. So this is not a knock against them. But I do think, after doing research, that we spend a lot of money. We send a lot of money to Israel. $3.8 billion. They are our number one export of our resources when it comes to financial military contracts and stuff of that nature. I do think we need to look into it and make sure that it's fair. That's all I'm saying. I think we should support Israel. I think Israel deserves to be a state, but we do need to evaluate, is every dollar that we give in Israel the best way to spend our money? And if it is, keep doing it. And if it ain't, we need to scale back a little bit, because I don't want to ever be the person that's biased towards a country, because I think they deserve to be a state, and I love the Israeli people and I love the Jewish people. But we do need to make sure that we're holding an account to our spending in every aspect of what we do, no matter if it's Israel or not. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next story, because I think this story is very impactful. People have been begging me, Brandon, please, I need you to speak on this. In New Mexico, armed suspect involving a 7- and 9-year-old boy. Now, a lot of people are making comparisons to the kid that got shot years ago. What's his name? Tamir Rice. They're making comparisons to Tamir Rice. I will state here clearly, and there should be no misunderstanding, this is not even close to the same situation as Tamir Rice. It's not on the same planet. These two boys, and I'll explain why in a minute, are in a very different situation. Cops are in a very different situation. The family is known to the police. So they already understand the involvement with the mental health issues of these children. They've been there several times. They dealt with the parents. They've been called to this house. They know the kids. They know the parents. Coming into a situation like that, where police have the distance and tactical advantage here with the drone coverage and all of the other intangibles that they did not have in Tamir Rice's situation. Also, the call of the incident was completely different. The call of these kids that are known kids, known family with a gun, hiding behind a thing, not really attacking anybody, hadn't shot the gun at anybody, haven't shot anybody, didn't threaten anybody, as far as I have information on, is very different than Tamir Rice, who they called because he was a big kid, and they said he was an 18-year-old kid or a teenager with a gun chasing people in the park. He was chasing people with the gun. And so the cops are responding to an unknown person with the firearm, chasing people in the park. And also, when they pull up to the scene, they didn't see him. They pull up to the scene when the kid is at the gazebo thing. He's at the awning. He's under an awning. He comes out and he reaches in his waistband to pull the gun out on the cop that's in the car. He can't move. He can't run. He can't dodge. He can't go for cover. Because they pulled up, which was poor tactic. They pulled up right on the kid, and he pulls a gun on the cop right here at the passenger door. The cop only had enough time to shoot one time, and unfortunately that one shot was fatal. Come on, put it back up there. Let's roll the clip. Roll it.
Drop it! Drop it! Drop it, Sean! Load another one. Load another one. Drop it now! You're gonna get hit! Drop it!
You dropped the gun! Taser! 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 Put your hands off! Don't forget! Put your hands off! Pull them up! Drop it! Hands off!
Drop it now. Drop it, both of you.
I don't even have the gun. I don't have the gun.
Get over here.
10-3, 10-4. I'll give you another situation just to put this in perspective, because a lot of people say if they were black, they would have shot him and killed him. Let me just give you some context real quick. Cops are worried about their lives more than they're worried about the color of somebody's skin. Now, as a man that wore the uniform, as a man that have seen people killed right in front of me, I've seen them not see them in the act because I would have had to take action, but I have seen people that have been shot die right in front of me. I have checked the pulse of people that died, and I saw their soul leave their body right in front of me. As a man who have been in many situations in Tucson, this is not, New Mexico got in trouble for shooting white people. They got in trouble, unjustifiably shooting white people in the back. So don't give me the New Mexico thing about black and white, because they clearly, the New Mexico Police Department got in trouble years ago for shooting unarmed people too much. Like 5 incidents in 1 year, I think they had. But as a man who put on the uniform, meaning that I face life and death every single day of my life, even when I look back on it now, I'm like, I was literally gambling with my life every day for 6.5 years. At any one of those days, except when I was a PIO, I could have been killed. I could have been in a drastic situation where I could have lost my life. Every day I'm gambling. Anybody that's wearing a uniform is not going to go to a call and say, who's involved? White kids or black kids? Oh, white kids. Oh, okay. I'll die for them. I'll let little Tony shoot me in the head and I'll never see my family again because he's white. I'm okay with white people pulling guns on me. It's okay if I die at the hands of a lunatic. My wife and them don't need me that much because he's white. But if he's black, I'm not willing to die. I'm going to shoot him first time I get there, I'm going to shoot him because I don't want to die. Cops don't think about it like that. Normally, when you're in certain situations, it's situation by situation basis. You cannot compare an officer at another police department in another jurisdiction on another day with another call for service with different tactical training. You can't compare the two and say, well, they just out here killing black people for no reason. Because I'll show you a video right now. We'll probably put it in post-production because I don't think we have it prepared, of the situation where the 2 white kids were shooting guns at police and they end up shooting them. The 2 white kids, they had guns, they were shooting at police. They got shot and killed. I mean, I don't know if they got shot and killed, but I think they shot them. And people were mad at them for shooting these kids. It's like, well, they got a gun and they're shooting at the cops. They got to, at some point, apprehend these kids. And then there's plenty of situations where young black kids were involved in bringing guns to school, carrying a gun, shooting up the school, shooting people up, and they didn't get shot to death. It matters based on how you act at the very end of when cops make contact with you. To go back and reiterate the situation with Tamir Rice is that it was an unfortunate chain of circumstances. This situation with these kids was a known family. They knew the status. The kids weren't running after people and trying to gun people down. They had already been familiar with this location. They had a drone that was up in the air monitoring the situation. The technology and advancements in tactics all gave them an advantage to be able to de-escalate the situation without killing anybody. Tamir Rice's situation was very different. And I'll say it again for the people that just joined in. It was very different. You got an unknown person that they said was older. They thought it was an 18-year-old or something that had a gun. Tamir Rice was chasing people in the park with the gun like this, chasing after people. So people begin to call and say there's a man in the park with a gun chasing people. And people are running for their lives. They're calling 911. Yeah, he's right there at the park right now with a gun. He's chasing people. He's pointing at people. They didn't say he was a kid. They don't know his family. They don't know Tamir Rice. They have never seen his kid. And they pull up to the situation not with a tactical advantage, but by trying to look for this kid. And and unfortunately, they drove right up on him unbeknownst to them because he was sitting under the awning. And he didn't get out and put his hands up. He got out and did like this and reached for the gun. That's a different scenario. And I guarantee you, if these kids were black that was behind this air conditioning unit, they would have treated them the same. I don't know why we try to make this a racial incident. Black kids get shot. White kids get shot also. If you look at any statistical data, white people get shot twice as many as black people do. They get shot twice as many unarmed as black people do. But they don't report on it. They don't talk about it. Let me just give you an example. I'll go on my computer just for those who need some more evidence. You can go and look up these incidents, and you won't find a lot of the incidents because they don't disclose the ages of people who are underage. But let me just give you a couple examples, and we don't know the age of these kids. 11-year-old brought a loaded gun to a Florida school. He brought a gun to Beauclerk or something. I don't know. Y'all, whoever live in Florida know this elementary school. In Jacksonville, Florida. 11-year-old. After bringing the 9mm handgun to campus, he reportedly showed the weapon to other students on a school bus and in the bathroom and stated his intent was to kill other students. That's what he said. The gun belonged to his mother. He faces charges of possession of it, but they end up apprehending this kid. Now, we don't know the race of the kid, but 40-some% of that school's population is black. Could be a black kid, but we'll never know because he's a minor. A teen arrested for AR-15 in Phoenix, Arizona. 2023, a teenager was arrested in Bostrom High School in Phoenix, Arizona, bringing the AR-15 and ammunition to the campus. The weapon and additional ammo were found in his backpack. Now, if we go and look at that particular school, let's look at the demographic of the school. Hold on real quick, because I had to ask ChatGPT this. Let's see if I can find it here. I think I went down and asked for the race or breakup of it. But I think that school in Phoenix is like, oh yeah, right here. It's 97% of students comprised of minority students, with 92 classified as economically disadvantaged. So 97% of minorities. So this 15-year-old that brought an AR-15 to school with ammo and magazines, he was a minority. Could have been black, could have been Hispanic. More than likely, he was a minority. He didn't get shot and killed. And you can look this up. This happened in Phoenix, Arizona. A 12 and a 14-year-old in Volusia County in Florida, 14-year-old involved in a shootout, has been identified as Nicole Jackson, indicated Hispanic background. 12-year-old identified race has not been publicly disclosed. Had a Hispanic background. 11-year-old had a kill list in Port Orange, Florida. Carlo was Italian or European heritage. So he was probably white. So now you see incidents where there's minorities, and this is just 4 incidents. Minorities and 1 white kid, and none of them were shot and killed, according to this. And they had firearms with them. Like, so I'm saying this to say, and I'll be done with this, is that stop projecting racism onto police officers if it does not specifically apply. Use your common sense. Cops don't have an implicit bias against black people that's been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. There was a Harvard researcher who's black who did the research on police activity against or police biases against black people in the black community, and they found that there were no biases. This is a Harvard study done by a black man. So somebody tried to tell me that that guy is racist, and he was against the police when he did the study, and he had to admit, and they tried to tell him he couldn't release the study, but he did it anyway, and he got blackballed. I'll add that clip in here in post-production. So it's not true. People are just using their platform to spew hatred and division. Officers are human beings. White officers, black officers alike want to go home to their children. And there is no cop that I can interview, talk to, reason with, or anything that will tell me that if they saw a white man that could potentially kill them or had a gun, that they would do nothing. And if they saw a black man, they'll do something. It's not going to happen that way. And we are trained in the academy to treat everybody equally because anybody can kill you at any time. They sent us videos every single day of my shift. They sent us videos of officers getting killed from all around the country. Every day they sent us video or they sent us articles about the incident. Why? So we can be vigilant and not be complacent. And yeah, it was hard to read, but you read stories of Idaho, Michigan, white areas where white people are killing white cops all the time. White people kill cops more than anybody else. And so when we go off the shift, we don't look and say, where can I find a Negro at? Because they the most violent. It's like, no. Let me see your hands. You want to be safe. You still do the same tactical approach no matter if it's black or white. Why don't people get that? Because you're not a cop, maybe people don't get it, but any police officer will agree with me. The only bias that I can see happening is that when you're in the inner city community around nothing but black people, and you see day in and day out the crime, the violence, the gang activity, and you become desensitized. And then you go into other areas that are nice, that are peaceful, and they happen to be white. So what are you associated with? You go, every time I go to this area, these black people are absolutely insane. They're killing each other every single day. I can see how a person become desensitized to black violence. And I don't think that they become biased against black people. They just become desensitized because that's what they see every day. All right, let's go to another story. This ding dong ditch thing. This is very unfortunate. And I believe that this will not get the coverage or outrage that some people think it should, because I believe that the person who was the suspect was a black man and the kid who got killed was a white kid. And that's why you ain't gonna see Al Sharpton, nobody else gonna come out and say anything. I think that the guy who did this was wrong. You can't blindly shoot at people. I don't know what people are thinking. Let me give you some advice. If you're gonna have a gun, study the law of your state. Study self-defense laws. If somebody's kicking on your gate outside of your house, you can't just start opening fire on people. You can't do that. You have to have a reason to believe that these persons are armed and dangerous, or that your life is in danger of serious bodily injury or death. You know why? Because somebody may be knocking on your door thinking it's somebody else's door. You can't shoot people through a door. Somebody may be kicking on your fence because they're doing a TikTok joke, or maybe they're trying to break into your fence, but that's not your house. And they may not even have a gun. So you got to be very mindful of how you're shooting and knowing the target that you're shooting at. If you shoot somebody, you have to be able to know who you shot and where you shot them at. If you don't, then when I say who you shot, which means that if it's a crowd of 5 people and you firing, you better know that, okay, I hit the third person and I shot him in the leg, or I shot him in the torso, or I shot him in the head. If you shooting at somebody, you can't describe where you shot them at, or at least a general area where you aimed at. And if you're shooting in a crowd of people and you don't know who you shot or didn't shoot, you are in a weird position, especially when they don't have any weapons and they're running away from you. So I'm just putting that out there, man. And I'm the biggest advocate of defending yourself. In our state, we have stand your ground. I get it. But if somebody's beating on my door, I'm not going to shoot them through the door. Once they breach the door, it's going to be a light show, fireworks. I think I might be a little turned on by it a little bit. You break in my house, it's going to be murder she wrote if you can breach the door of my house. But until then, you beating on the door. As long as you're not shooting through my door or anything, I'm going to call the police. And if you never make it through the door, which my door is secure, then we have nothing. The cops will come take care of you. You breach the door, now you got to go meet Jesus faster than you want to. All right, let's play this clip real quick from the news. Roll it.
Tonight, an arrest for murder in Virginia after teens tell authorities an age-old childhood prank, the ding-dong ditch, turned deadly. A high school senior shot to death while doing the stunt, his friends say, for a TikTok video. Now the homeowner, Tyler Chase Butler, arrested and accused of second-degree murder. The Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office saying in a press release it was 3 a.m. Saturday morning when they got a call for a burglary in progress where shots were fired. Deputies found two people with gunshot wounds on the scene.
Let me add to this. In the defense of the suspect, this was 3 a.m. You dumb, ignorant fools, that you little kids trying to be TikTok famous, don't be knocking on somebody at 3 a.m. We never, first of all, We did ding dong ditch when I was a kid. I didn't do it much because I hate getting in trouble. But we did it a few times. But what do we do? Do it during the day. You walk in somebody's porch, you knock and you run. It's during the day. Or if you do it at night, it's at a reasonable hour because you got to be home before the freaking street light come on. So we couldn't ding ditch or whatever they call it. Ding dong ditch. We couldn't do that because daddy be ding dong ditching your butt if you out at night and you're not in the house. So I don't know what kids they raising that's at 3 o'clock in the morning beating on somebody's house. All right, keep going.
18-year-old Michael Bosworth Jr. was transported to a local hospital where he died just hours before his high school prom. His stepfather telling me he was a student athlete who played lacrosse, football, and wrestled, now gone. Another teen grazed with a bullet, telling investigators, according to court records, they weren't trying to break into the home to steal anything. They were just ringing doorbells and running away. And a third teen, not shot, telling authorities the same story and showing police a similar video from earlier that night. The question is whether a resident can claim self-defense in such a case.
In Virginia, if you are going to use lethal force, you have to be in fear from the perspective of a reasonable person of bodily harm, great bodily harm, or death.
The sheriff's office saying the butler is held on no bond at a local jail. We haven't been able to reach him or an attorney. The investigation is still ongoing and may uncover if it really was a ding-dong ditch that led to shots ringing through this neighborhood and a young life lost.
Poor child, the poor kid that got killed, and of course what happened to him. I mean, such a stupid prank, and look at the results. Families ruined. So, very sad. Hope this does not happen, and I hope the kids learn a lesson.
Now, in court documents, Tyler Butler reports being single, having gone to college to study computer science, and now making his living through sports betting. I met with a neighbor here who showed me video from in front of his home not long before the shooting down the street. And the video, he wouldn't share it with us yet, but it shows 3 teenagers approaching his house and not ringing the doorbell and running, but banging and kicking his garage door. He says they weren't trying to break into his house, but this was not just simply ringing and running.
Kids that got shot with white, the guy's black. Now, do I think it's a racial issue? No, I don't have any evidence to suggest that's a racial issue other than there's 2 different races. I'm telling you, I'm just throwing this out here so we know the hypocrisy when it comes. If there was a white man that shot black kids doing ding dong ditch, we would, God is my witness, we would hear it being a racial thing. You gotta not have a double standard. Like, if you're gonna jump to racism every time a white person does something, you gotta do it when black people do it. It could have been a racial component, but we don't have any evidence of it, so we don't need to jump to that conclusion. But what I will say is that how much did he know, and where was he shooting from? If they coming and beating on your door and kicking your door, I can see a person believing that he's getting robbed, but you can't just blindly shoot people, right? Why? Because they may be a prank, or they may be knocking on the wrong house door. They're not trying to break in and kill you. People could just be at the wrong house. Maybe they think it's their baby, some girl baby daddy coming over, knocking on the door, late at night because he pissed off about something. They don't have, but they don't give you the right to shoot a person who you don't know who you're shooting. I mean, because if you're blindly shooting through a door or something, you could be shooting neighbors. Like the bullets, they don't just stop once they leave the gun. If they don't hit anybody, they still going. And they hit people in the head, hit people in their sleep. That's why they charged them with second-degree murder. Because what is second-degree murder? Knowingly and intentionally doing something that caused the death of another person. So knowing that your actions, maybe I should look that law up. What state is this? Let me see. Virginia. Because he got charged with a few things. He got charged with second-degree murder, malicious wounding, and 2 counts of firearm use during a felony. So for them to hit him with them crimes, it must be pretty evident that he had no legitimate reason to shoot at them. So the question is, if he went to school for computer science and he seemed like an intelligent guy living in maybe a primarily white neighborhood, I guess, why would he believe in doing that? Now, here's my theory, just real quick. Here's my theory. The guy is sports betting So he may think that he may be involved in some stuff that will lead him to believe somebody gonna come collect on him. Because think about this for a minute. I'm kind of like a celebrity a little bit, right? I'm not like an A-list celebrity, obviously. But I'm kind of a celebrity. It means that everywhere I go, no matter where I go in the United States of America, somebody recognizes me. So I'm sort of a celebrity. I know that people hate me. So if somebody were beating on my door, it's a reasonable fear that maybe a hater, which I don't know how you get to my door in the first place, but if you made it there, that's where you're going to die. But we might as well put some roses out there for you and notify the next of kin. But if you make it to my house and you're doing that, I have a reason to believe that maybe somebody, because I'm popular, that somebody want to come get me. If you're a regular person that's just living your life, maybe in an affluent neighborhood, why is that your expectation that somebody's going to kill you because you hear beating on the door? Unless, in my opinion, you believe that you got haters or somebody after you. So I think the young man got into sports betting. It can be very weird, right? Maybe he owed people money and he's like, oh, shoot, they coming to kill me. And I gotta go all out. I gotta shoot through the doors and everything else because this is what's happening. That could be a case that I think the reason why this guy overreacted, because it doesn't seem like he's a bad guy. He don't have no criminal record, not a gang member. Seems to be very well educated. You're talking about kids going to a school that does lacrosse. That's probably an affluent neighborhood or a reasonable neighborhood, middle class to middle upper class. Why would somebody be so triggered or in fear for their lives that a couple kids banging on your door will cause you to go out and shoot blindly? Now, I don't know if he shot blindly, though, which is where when we get more information, we'll be able to determine, because he could have just been pissed that these kids did it and made it in his mind he gonna go and shoot and kill them. That could have also been what happened here, right? They could have beat on the door, boom, 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 and he know what it is, and he gets up and he like, oh, F this. He go out there, open the door, and see him running and going, boom, 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 boom. Bro, that is murder. It doesn't indicate he shot through the door. So I don't know what scenario he's in, but scenario one, they beating on the door, you get scared, you shoot through the door, you hit a couple. That's murder, okay? You can't shoot a target you can't see. Boom, 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 boom. They beating on the door, you open the door, you instantly, you confront it with them, you start shooting. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe that could give you a little more of an advantage. But if you see, you open the door and they running, and you shooting at them while they running, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. All right. Let's see. What video is this? Yeah. I think this goes along with something I said earlier. And I can't wait for you guys to see me on Piers Morgan. I wish it was available because we can react to it. Is it available or not? The Piers Morgan thing? I don't think so. Was it live? It wasn't live on check. Okay. But just know I went on Piers Morgan and I literally ripped them with this one. But let's talk about this real quick. I want to just bring this up because this man said it. I say it all the time, and I'm going to continue to say it because I think it's invaluable that we call out this stuff so things can change. I'm sick of black people being afraid to say I disagree with what black people do. Like, I mean, we've created a culture where it's like if you black and you know stuff is wrong, you can't say nothing, because then you turn it on your own people. You're a traitor. You working for the white man. So a lot of black people that's like, no, bro, I want this to change. No, I know we need to call out the mess that's going on in these communities. No, we need to hold these people accountable. No, I can't jump on board for Carmelo Anthony because he was wrong. Not because he's black or anything, because he's wrong. And I love that this man is one of many that are coming out, and I support men that do this, to saying, no. All of us don't think like this. All of us are not okay with this. Just because I'm black don't mean I'm okay with the foolery. I can be black and educated and not be a Republican and still know that the foolery is foolery. Roll the clip.
So I was just told that I've turned my back on the black community. because of a recent video I did about Jasmine Crockett. I've been waiting on this one. What this is called is selective morality. Let's ignore the fact that ain't no white robes running through our neighborhoods, just black folks terrorizing other black folks. Let's ignore the fact that ain't no white supremacists shooting up our blocks. It's us. Let's ignore the fact that we make music glorifying our own destruction and then cry when the streets match the lyrics. We love screaming black unity, but will rob, jump, scam, and kill our own people with no hesitation whatsoever. Preaching we gotta stick together, while setting up your own brothers and snaking your own sisters. Love blaming the society for why our neighborhoods look like war zones while cheering for the very culture that keeps them that way. Talking about black pride while rapping about murdering each other, turning women into baby mamas, and making it seem like being broke, violent, and ignorant is a personality trait. Everybody want to scream support black businesses, but will run to Gucci before you ever spend $1 with your own people while looking for a hookup at the same time. We want to whine about gentrification, but won't invest in your own community. Instead,
there you go.
Trash it. And then cries when somebody else moves in and builds it the up. And then the worst part, y'all expect every black person to fall in line with this ideology. Because how dare a black person think for themselves, right? How dare someone not subscribe to this self-inflicted victimhood? Y'all want unity? Start by looking in the mirror. The truth is, black folks ain't even for black folks. The biggest threat to black people ain't Trump. It ain't the police. It ain't white people. It's us. It's our own self-hatred, our own refusal to hold each other accountable, and our own addiction to playing the victim while glorifying the very that holds us back. Who's out here shooting up black neighborhoods? Not Trump. Who's rapping about killing each other, robbing each other, and treating our women like trash? Not Trump. Who's making our own communities unlivable, unsafe, and uninvestable, then crying about it and wondering why they won't build up our neighborhoods? Not Trump. Who raised us to fear and hate each other more than any racist system ever could? We did that to ourselves. But nah, let's keep blaming everything on racism, while we kill, rob, and destroy our own at a rate the Klan could only dream of. Let's keep pretending every black person is on the same team when half of y'all wouldn't even piss on another black person if they were on fire. Y'all would film it and yell World Star. Let's keep screaming about oppression while cheering on the destruction of our own communities. Y'all don't want justice. Y'all don't want unity. Y'all don't want progress. You just want an excuse to stay in the same cycle while blaming everyone else but yourselves. So nah, I'm not turning my back.
I don't know how we didn't have the rest of that clip, but he said, no, I'm not turning my back on the black community. I can speak for him. I'm not turning my back on the black community. I just want better. When you see a whole swath of society struggling to no end, I mean, this is something that has to be addressed by everybody. But unfortunately, if you white, you can't talk about it. So that's why black people talk about it. They got common sense. I'm not turning on the black community, but like, it's embarrassing. When I was living around nothing but black people, it wasn't as embarrassing, right? That's like if I was working for a company and where I was in the company and the company culture was a certain way, and I thought, oh, that's kind of normal. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I don't like that. That's kind of stupid, but I didn't see anything different. And then I go work for a Fortune 500 company that do things right, and I'm looking at the perspective and I'm saying, whoa. That's horrible. I thought that a lot of people did. No, you tell me most people don't act like that? Most people don't do that? And this dude hit so many nails on the head, I can go over them, but it'll take me hours. But like, I grew up in the black neighborhood. And like, I tell this story all the time about my friend, Christasha. She was my friend. She don't like me no more because I married a white woman. You know how ridiculous that is? So Christasha used to be my friend. And I remember Christasha got paid out millions of dollars. She told me she got paid out millions of dollars. She was in some car accident. I don't know how they didn't rig that up. She was with her wife. She had a woman. And they crashed the company car because I think one of them fell asleep behind the wheel or something. And somehow Christasha got paid millions of dollars in a settlement. So she get paid out. She told me she went to the strip club or something the first night and spent $15,000 throwing money off the balcony. And then she goes on to say that she went to India because, you know, hair weave in the black community is like, I don't know if it's still like that, but back when I was growing up, man, weave was a commodity. I mean, every woman had weave in their hair, and it was hundreds of people, women spending tens of thousands of dollars on weave. So she went to India and got real hair, which if you got hair directly from India, you are a premium weave company. She started a business after spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in India with making a hair weave business, getting hair directly from a plug in India. Black people didn't support her at all. All our black friends, all the black people we grew up around didn't support her at all. And she had better weave than the Asians. They didn't support. She closed down. She blew all her money. She closed down. She didn't have no business. Bruh. I remember growing up and we used to get boosters, meaning people that would steal stuff from Dillard's, from, you name it, Dillard's, TJ Maxx. They probably couldn't go to Nordstrom. Well, they may did Nordstrom too. They go steal and they go sell the products in the hood, right? You go steal, you see the videos of them going and grabbing racks of clothes and they run out there with toothbrushes and they go into all these places and they stealing all this stuff. What they do is they steal out and they go sell it in the hood with 100% profit margin. That was normal. But then you think back and you go, oh, this is why they follow y'all around in the store. Because you stealing. And then we didn't care that they stealing and care the reputation of the black man is tarnished. We just want to get cheap stuff. So come on around here with that polo shirt that costs $10 a shirt, $20 for the shoes, polo socks and stuff. We used to do that. Now, some people may argue because of poverty, people decide to do things like that. But in my opinion, that's no excuse. Go get a job and go do like every other community and work hard for your money. And you don't need to always buy designer stuff. In Phoenix, Arizona. Now, of course, because I've been diligent with my money and I've been creating wealth and opportunities, I can go and shop in Louis Vuitton if I want to. I can go shop in Gucci. I actually have a couple Louis Vuitton bags because I love Louis Vuitton bags. So I had that luggage forever. I don't really buy other stuff in Louis because I don't want to buy Louis stuff like that. But I just like the bags and backpacks. But every time I go to Louis, God is my witness. I see poor people in there more than I see people with money. And how do you know they poor? You could tell a person don't have no real money because of the way they dressed when they in Louis Vuitton, the way they act when they're in Louis Vuitton. To be honest, when you got real money, you don't go shop in Louis Vuitton. You got a shopper and the stuff come up and you get the shopper to give you the stuff and they ship it to your house, or you go in Louis Vuitton to pick up your Louis that you bought from your shopper. You're not in Louis Vuitton searching around if you got Louis Vuitton money. So a couple times I've been in the mall just to look at a couple bags, and I got a shopper person there that they change them like they change underwear, so I don't even use the same person anymore. But I go in there, and I remember seeing a couple black people in there one time. Lady got a Honda Civic key in her hand. She literally looked like she just woke up. She got pajamas on, just look ghetto. And I think to myself, this is why black people struggle financially and with economic success, because with a little bit of money, somehow we think we're validated by wearing designer clothes that we cannot afford. Why would you go into Louis Vuitton and buy a $1,500, $4,000 bag when that's more than your rent? Why would you go and why are you driving a Honda Civic? Why are you in Louis Vuitton? If you're driving a Honda Civic, unless you're a billionaire and you just decide to drive a Honda Civic, if you're driving a Honda, you don't have Louis Vuitton money. Stop shopping at Louis Vuitton. Stop trying to impress people that are not impressible. Like, for instance, let me give you another example. This ain't even about black people no more. This is about foolish people. People don't understand that wealthy people know when you ain't got no money. A wealthy person that got money can see you with Louis on and know if you a Louis Vuitton, meaning that your last money went to Louis, or you can shop at Louis because you got money. People know that. So you think that you're going to go to Louis and Gucci and Fendi and you got a Fendi bodysuit on, people, who are you impressing? Other poor people? Because people that actually can afford Fendi is like, that's fake. That's a fake Fendi bodysuit. The Fendi don't make bodysuits, okay? And then you walk it through, you smell like it's burnt. So you got that Fendi bodysuit from China because it smelled burnt. Nobody's gonna burn in a fabric like that. You got cheap Fendi. You go to Louis, you got a Louis bag, but you flying. I see people, because I fly first class when I travel. That's what I'm to that point right now where I fly first class because I need to get on and off the flight. I don't need to be waiting on nobody. I'm flying across the country, especially when I fly across the country. I need you to feed me. I need to be able to get on and off that plane so I can get the business, right? And that's just the way I've been flying. And when people book me to speak, they got to fly me first class. That's just the way it is, okay? I used to not be a first class person, and now I am, okay? But I see people with Louis Vuitton bags, and they flying coach. This is my opinion, because there have been times I fly coach, okay? It's not the end of the world. It's not like you're less than. But if you got enough money to spend $5,000 on a bag, you should have enough money to spend $800 on a first class flight. If you can't, you probably shouldn't have Louis. If you cannot make your car payment, you probably shouldn't have a Mercedes. If you're struggling to make your car payment and your phone bill payment. This is something that I think that when I was growing up, it sounded reasonable to do. And now that I'm older and I've been around people that make a lot of money, that rich people don't act like that. Wealthy people's car payments is a fraction of what they make. Literally, they can spend their car payment every day and not worry about it. Poor people, their car payment is a significant portion of their income. Like one of your checks go to your car payment. That means that you're overextending yourself. For who? That car drive you to point A to point B, just like that Mercedes that you overspend on. I know I'm helping somebody help somebody, okay? I'm done with the conversation, but it's just a part of when I was growing up, how foolish I feel like black people were in comparison to the rest of the world. Poor people wearing Gucci is crazy to me. Living in Section 8 housing and driving a Mercedes that's 15 years old with the check engine light on. That's insane to me. I don't have no money in the bank, but you splurging and going to the club and getting bottle service, which is like, I don't know what bottle service costs. Back when I was young, it was like $700 a bottle. You know, Nick? Do you know how much bottle service costs?
It's about like 1,000 plus probably.
Do you know or are you guessing?
No, I've seen bottle service. Old Town Scott.
And you know how much it costs?
I've seen like upwards of thousands and more.
So thousands of dollars of bottle service. But people are like check to check, but they go bottle service. I'm not trying to judge people. I just want you to know that's ridiculous.
I ain't do it though.
And Nick didn't do it. Just know he a good kid. He ain't finna blow the money he make here on bottle service.
Not yet.
By the love of God, he ain't. I will suspend you if I catch you at a club doing bottle service. No, I'm just playing. You can do whatever you want with your money, bro. But I'm gonna criticize you if I catch you in there. Yeah. People they spend what they don't have to impress people that don't care. I'm just saying, I see wealthy people, like where I live at, it's a bunch of wealthy people. I go smoke cigars and I know these people got money. I can smell the money in the air. And they got regular clothes on. Now, I like nice stuff, but they got regular cars. One of the richest dudes that I know drive a Tesla. And I won't drive. I don't like driving Teslas. I would prefer another car. But I know a guy that got crazy money. Hall of Famer. Driving a Tesla. And man, let me say something to y'all real quick and I'm moving on. Get the super chats ready. I want to give y'all phases of wealth. I'm not to the wealth part yet, but when you're broke and you don't barely got no money, you think you need this. When you finally get money and you already tried that, you realize it's not that big of a deal anymore. I remember when I didn't have no money to my name, and I was like, oh my God, Louis Vuitton, they got a, dang. How could somebody afford $1,300 for a wallet? I couldn't believe my eyes. And now it's like I've purchased a Louis Vuitton bag or two, and it's not a big deal. It's not like I get on an airplane with a Louis Vuitton bag and I'm like, look, everybody, I got a Louis Vuitton. It's like, it's not a big deal anymore once you purchase it. I have had my share of sports cars and nice cars that I've had, and I've sold them. Like, it's not that once you try it, you realize that it's fun to try it the first time. But that's why you see rich people, they don't really have a lot of flashy stuff, because when you got $100 million in your bank account, a Ferrari isn't a thing to you. It's like, oh, I can buy the Ferrari. I could buy 10 of them. Like, I've had a Ferrari, I drove a Ferrari or whatever. If you got money like that and you don't care. Going to a Steak 44 and spending $2,000 on a dinner, when you rich, it's like, it's not a real thing anymore. So I just want people that are in transition, meaning that you go and check the check because you're working hard and you're trying to get yourself to this point. Just realize it ain't going to mean that much to you when you finally get it. So never focus on things, never focus on money, focus on purpose and influence. Because at the end of the day, that Ferrari going to break down on you. At some point, you're going to be tired of it. You want to sell it. But what will last is your impact you have on people's lives. That's what's going to last forever. That Louis Vuitton bag going to get scratched up. It's going to get tore up. But when you help that one family out that time, that ain't never going to go away. I'm just throwing it out here. That's why when I do fundraisers and stuff, that's why I do them. Because I could donate all my money and just never tell y'all about it. Right? I could say, oh, I'm just going to donate, thousands of dollars to this thing, this cause, and that's good enough. They got 1,000 from me. That's good enough. But I want to give you guys opportunities to give and bless people's lives, because I'm in a unique position to expose you guys to blessing opportunities. And that's why I do what I do. Like, we helped that kid go from 14,000 to 80,000. That's going to change that family forever. And you guys were a part of that. It ain't just me. You guys were a part of that. We give the prison fellowship, and we get kids Bibles, and we get them to go to summer camp, and we get them Christmas gifts by the thousands of people. You guys were involved in that. That to be honest, when you see somebody whose life you impacted, it's going to feel better than a Ferrari. I'm telling you. When you impact somebody's life, it's going to feel better than driving a Rolls Royce. It's going to feel better than that. That's going to impact you. I just went to Jim is on the board of a nonprofit that helps with people who are homeless, help them get on their feet, give them somewhere to stay, help them get a job, all of that stuff. I literally want to tear up at what I felt when I went to this facility. I'm saying, it's funny because men in there, they actually follow me. One guy's like, I ain't even on the internet, and I love you. I'm like, that was very touching to me. But I'm saying that to say, being able to help in a program like that makes me feel better than the first time I drove a really nice car. It makes me feel better than flying first class. It makes me feel better than going to a really nice hotel. It makes me feel better than doing anything that involves money, is when I can reach out and give a person an opportunity at improving their lives. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to shut up because I know everybody want to hear me talk about politics, but somebody need to hear this. If you want to be happy in life, never chase things. Never chase money. Only chase purpose. If you want to be happy, make other people happy. If you want to feel loved, love other people. If you want generosity to be given to you, be generous to other people. If you want somebody to give you words of encouragement on your worst day, give words of encouragement to other people on your worst day. And this ain't super spooky. This is just God showing me through my own life experience that when you feeling down and out and you ready to give up and throw in the towel because your life ain't going well, go and do something for somebody else and it will make you feel better. When you go and you see people that don't have food, people that are homeless, people that have been sex trafficked, you really reflect on your life and say, oh, spilling my latte on my lap this morning wasn't that big of a deal. You know, me arguing with my boyfriend because he didn't come home at the time I wanted him to come home, it wasn't as big deal as I thought it was. You know, today I was in my car because I woke up late. I didn't even get to brush my teeth. I'm like trying to scramble here to go on Pierce Morgan, threw my clothes on, didn't even take a shower because I always smell good anyway. So he said facts, pause. But I always smell good because I'm not a stinky person. But I'm in the car. Let me tell y'all this. My car is dirty as heck. I let my windows down because it was hot, so I didn't want the car just building up heat. But overnight, the Palo Verde tree, or whatever the tree is, blew all these yellow seeds all over my car. I can't sit in my car without seeds everywhere. The whole inside of my car is yellow, like somebody pranked me. And this morning, I'm driving. I have my mouthwash in, and I didn't spit it out immediately, so I'm just doing it on the way to work, and I work like 5 minutes from my house. Mouthwash. I'm getting ready to pull up, and I'm like, oh, sure, I got to spit this mouthwash out. So I open my door, and I'm going to spit it in the bushes because I'm pulled next to the curb. And I go to spit, but the door shut. So I went, and I spit all of my mouthwash on my door panel. I almost said, this is a bad day. My car dirty. I got Palo Verde stuff everywhere. My car smell like gas because I got a gas can in the back and it's 110 degrees in Arizona. And then I spit on my door panel and I'm running late. I said, nah. And I smiled because when you smile, it make your mood go up. I smiled and I say, that's funny. It ain't that big of a deal. Everything's gonna be okay. I'm gonna have a great day. Don't let little stuff get to you, man. Smile and say, I'm gonna have a good day. It's just a test. It's just gonna make me mad. I ain't finna let spitting on this wall make me mad. I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna treat my people right. I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna joke with everybody. I'm gonna give Trent a hard time like I do every day. And that just makes me happy to give Trent a hard time. You know what I'm saying? And it's only because I love him. You know, if I didn't love him, I'd have fired him already, okay? But I love him, and he got a good talent and good heart. And so that's why I give him a hard time. But anyway, let's go to the Super Chats real quick. And then we're going to move on. I think I got somebody here waiting on me. All right, Brittany, Brittany Foley, thank you so much for joining the Tatum squad. Dustin, her Shinergy was used during the U.S.-Chinese talks. Donald Trump knew that if he gave the Chinese government a little bit of Shinergy, he'll come to his senses because it does help you with focus and clarity. I'm just saying. Let's see, Shantae. I think that's Shantae. Thank you so much for joining the Tatum squad. Go down. Lee, I forgot, Lee. I got to send you some product. I want you to try that testosterone supplement, Lee, because you're the main person I know that will give me an honest feedback on whether it work or not. But anyway, I'll reach the super chat. He thought they were trying to break in, maybe thought it was somebody coming to rob him. Maybe it was the 7-day advances trying to sell him. Their Awake magazine, in that case, it's justified. That's hilarious. But he should have known better. But these people do be like, I live in a gated community finally in my life. And I have to now because, you know, people may want to come get me. So I live in a gated community. But when I didn't, I got hoodwinked by some people at my house. They told me, and this is why, and I did the right thing because God will bless you for doing the right thing. If other people screw it, that's on between them and God. These fools went to sell me some comic books. And I was like, I don't really want the comic books, but it was a couple black people and they were hustling to try to make to get some money, man. And I'm like, I don't want these comic books, man, but I'll donate to your little thing. to get the comic books to give you something. You know, you out here hustling. Man, that was a scam like a mud, man. I got scammed. I ain't never seen them comic books. Ain't never heard from them people again. And they were going door to door in an affluent neighborhood because I lived in a pretty nice neighborhood in Paradise Valley. And it's on my street, a bunch of people. Some of the people so wealthy on that street, they don't even live at their house the whole time. But that's what the scam they were doing. They were going to these white people's houses and making them feel guilty about them recovery program and that they just got out of jail and they turning their life around, and they were going to all these white people's houses. And the white people got money, and so they feel sorry for them. And they're like, oh, I'll buy $300 worth of your books. Oh, just keep the money. Here's $200. Here's $100. Here's $50. Here's $1,000. Here, just take that. Get your life together. I'm happy for you. And they were scam artists the whole time, which is sad. Because the only scam artists that came to my door were these black people. And I don't know how many people they scammed in the neighborhood. Maybe just me. I'm the only dummy that's gullible. Nick gets bottled services at the Chuck E. Cheese. Is that true?
I can't confirm or deny.
He said he cannot confirm or deny that Chucky has given him belly shots. Let's see. Broke people on Instagram looking like they rich, traveling the world and driving Mercedes-Benz. Stay off social media. Well, I'm going to say this real quick, just so y'all know, because like I said, I've been around a bunch of people that are super wealthy that just will make you feel like, dang, bro, you spent that much money on a dinner? That's crazy. One dinner. But when you make money and you're around people with money, you start to see how fake these people on Instagram are. Because you can see the little crypto scam artists. You can see the little, you're like, yeah, you rented that from Verbo. It's an Airbnb. Bro, you rented that house. I saw another influencer in that same house. You guys are just doing this to make you look good. No, you don't. I've had my fair share of nice cars. No, you did not purchase that car cash. Yes, that's a lease. You could tell it's a lease by what year it is. Yeah, you drive a Mercedes-Benz, but you claim you travel in the world. A Mercedes-Benz is not a very expensive car. If you're a millionaire, if you got a lot of money, Mercedes-Benz is, you will be driving a Bentley. Unless you just like Mercedes-Benz. But when you claim that you rich and you traveling, you doing crypto and you a millionaire and you staying at the Four Seasons, you doing all this stuff. All my friends that are hyper successful like this, they do not drive Mercedes-Benz. Or Mercedes is one of like 15 cars they have. And I'll tell you this, I don't know a friend that have a Rolls Royce and that's their only car. So if you got an Instagram person online and they got a Rolls Royce and that's their only car, they fronting. They borrowing that, they leasing it from somebody. There's a company right here in Arizona that'll let you rent a Rolls Royce. And you can tell it's rented by the license plate. And you can tell it's rented by the lack there of customization in the year. They got one right now. I see people driving all the time. It got factory rims on it. And you could tell it's like a 2014. Ain't no young kid driving a 2014 Rolls Royce that got money. A young kid with money is driving a brand new Spectrum, or they driving a Cullinan, or they driving a brand new Rolls Royce Wraith. If you young and you got money, you're not driving a 10-year-old Rolls Royce with factory wheels on it. It's just not happening. But anyway, when you see it, you see it. Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate every one of y'all. Thank you for supporting Shinergy. Make sure if you purchase Shinergy, write a review. Whether you like it or not, I want to hear from you. And, you know, I want to be fair about that. We don't hide reviews or anything like that. We will try to rectify if you give us a two-star review or something. I want to know why. And if you have a legitimate reason because you don't like it, then cool. That's it what it is. Everybody's not going to like the product. But other than that, give a review. Give us an honest review. We need feedback. And it also helps other people who are trying to make the decision to shop with Shinergy or the e-commerce store, the Tatum store. It helps other people to know what your experiences are. And I can't curate the experience. You got the experience that you got. All right. And we got, so far, we mostly 5 stars. We got a couple 4 stars. We got 1 2-star. And the 2 stars, the person just doesn't like the flavor. It's not because the product didn't work. It's not because the product isn't good. They just didn't like the flavor of the product, which 99.9% of America will probably love the flavor of the product. See y'all on the next one. I'm out of here.